Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF Europe. This is the third of 4 training tapes dealing with personal foul unnecessary roughness. Today we're looking at live ball action by the team in possession of the ball. So even though the ball is live and even though it happens, it's committed by a player of the team in possession, and they are supposed to be blocking, sometimes what they do is unnecessary and it rises to the level of a personal foul. So we'll have a look at some game film and discuss this, but before we get there, let's have a look to see what the rulebook and the MOFO have to say on this topic. In the rulebook, we go to 9.1.12, contact against an opponent out of the play, and B says no player shall run into or throw himself against an opponent obviously out of the play, either before or after the ball is dead. In the MOFO, we start out in 3.3.5, illegal block in the back, where E says charging into a player's back away from the play may be called as unnecessary roughness. This may be called regardless of the timing of the block relative to the end of the play. And then we move on to 3.3.12, dealing with unnecessary roughness. A, an act that occurs well away from the play may be classed as a personal foul, even though the act itself is legal. In other words, it is the location of the players with respect to the play that causes the foul, not the legality of the contact. B, be certain that the act wasn't justified by the play situation, for example an interception or fumbled return or broken play. If a player is in position to influence the play or moving towards it, he is a fair target. If he's standing still, he is not. C, it is not a foul if 2 players are each blocking each other. Only contact against the player off his guard needs to be penalized. D, for unnecessary hits away from the ball near the end of the play, make them dead ball fouls rather than live ball fouls. And finally, E, when a player is hit after giving himself up, a foul is warranted. And that was the book. Now let's have a look at some real live examples in the game film. In this first example, we're looking at white 50, so B number 50 right there next to the snapper. And he's going to engage black 34, A 34. And once they go down the field, white 50 is going to make this little push there, and this simply is not enough to crack an egg, so to speak. This is not what we're looking for in terms of unnecessary roughness. So this is not enough, and we'll get confirmation on that from the sideline view. Same play, different angle. So we're still looking at white 50 and black 34, and even though they're going to disappear here for a short while, they will come back into the camera right there, and there's the I hesitate to call it a hit. It's just a little hello, and certainly not something that rises to the level of a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, or a blindside block or a blindside hit for that matter. If we want to, we can certainly have a talk to the number 50 and tell him how unnecessary it was, but again, it's not enough for a flag. We continue with blocks that are not unnecessary roughness. Here we're looking at the center, A57, and this is just not enough for an unnecessary roughness. We really want something that stands out as almost non-football related. And here the defender, the white player, the white jersey, is moving towards the play, so he's not out of the play per se. So this is not, and we'll get back to examples of that, this is not unnecessary roughness. What it is instead is a personal foul blindside block. This is open field, even though this was the pit when the play started. At this point, this is open field. This is from the blind side, and it certainly is forceful. So instead of talking about unnecessary roughness here, we should be talking about a blindside block. And in a crew of 8, certainly the referee or center judge could be cleaning up their backside wing. Should be cleaning up there. In a crew of 8, it would be difficult for the referee since he is following the quarterback, but here we would have to rely on the backside wing to see something like this. In this example, we're looking at the receiver closest to the camera here. So this is going to be A10. And the run is going to go to the other side, and then he's going to engage B5 right there. And again, B5 is even though he's far away from the ball, he is pursuing the play, so he's not as such out of the play, and therefore we can't go unnecessary roughness. But what it is a blindside block. Certainly is open field, certainly is from the blind side, and it certainly is forcible. So we've got all three check marks here. So again, not unnecessary roughness, but certainly personal foul, blindside block. In this play, we're looking at the left guard A18. And how often do you get to say the guard number 18? But in any case, it is number 18 here. And, you know, we're seeing a pattern here. He's going to right there hit green number 67, and again 67 is moving towards the play, so as such he's not out of the play, but this is open field, it is from the blind side, and it is forcible contact. So instead of unnecessary roughness here, let's just go personal foul, blindside block. On this play, again, we're looking at the receiver closest to the camera, and again, the play is going to go away from us and right there. So it's not unnecessary roughness per se, but it certainly is a blindside block. It's open field, it's from the blind side, and it is forceful contact. So again, the defender is moving towards the play, so he's not out of the play, so that's why it's not unnecessary roughness, but certainly a blindside block. We're now moving on to situations where the contact does warrant an unnecessary roughness, and we're looking at the to the right of the screen, the safety or the cornerback or whatever he is, with the black sleeves here. And the play is going to be an interception going to that sideline, and we've got these two players right there in the middle who are just standing there, and here comes our safety and just levels the guy. Now the difference from the previous ones is obviously that this guy is standing alone, completely non-participating in the play, completely out of the play, and both of those players are out of the play, so that hit is completely unnecessary, and that's why it's a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Now in terms of who should see this, certainly the back judge looks like he is getting caught into looking too much at the runner, and you know, we've got a deep wing and we've got a short wing over there covering the play, so the runner and that area of the field is well taken care of. So the back judge, or you know, the backside deep wing would be better off cleaning up. And whenever you see somebody coming in with that kind of speed away from the ball, that's always a brick in the hand, something that we need to keep an eye on. And sure enough, this is something that we should have called in this situation. On this one, we're looking at the center. And he's going to engage there, and the guy's going to fall down, and then he's going to do that. Now that is just completely unnecessary. I mean, right there we've got the guy, he's on the ground, he is defeated, and the center is standing up. He's not losing his balance or anything, and then he decides to jump down into the face of the defender. Completely unnecessary and should have been called as a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Now, the official with the best angle to see this would be the umpire, but the umpire is following his mechanics according to the mofo that says that when the ball is thrown, you turn around and you look at the end of the play. However, on these types of passes where the ball goes far down the field, it is very, very unlikely that the umpire is going to be able to help with any kind of catch, no catch situation down the field. So sometimes, if he had stayed with the offensive backfield for just a second longer, he would have been able to get a serious or cover a serious situation here with safety involved. Whereas now that he turns around, he is of absolutely no help to us. So as an umpire here, if you were able to stay with the line for just another second and make sure that every contact here is over, especially on a type of pass like this. That's deep pass down the sideline where there's very, very little chance that you will be able to help with catch, no catch. If you can stay with the offense and defensive line for just a second longer, you'd be able to pick something like this up. Here's a similar play. The left guard, so the guard away from the camera, he's going to pull or trap the defensive lineman, and right there. So again, we've got a situation where the red jersey has won, the white jersey is on the ground, and the red jersey is in balance or has not lost his balance, and he then decides to come down, and it almost looks like an elbow to the face. So this certainly is a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, completely unnecessary after he's made a successful block, and the referee is looking right there. He should be the one to call this, and that would be a good one to get in this situation. In this last example, we're looking at the tackle, the offensive tackle closest to the camera, A77. And his action is going to be similar to the last couple of examples. Again, right now he's won the day. The defender's on the ground, and he's standing up. He's not lost his balance. Then he decides to jump into and it almost looks like a headbutt to the defender's head. So this certainly is a good call by the referee in this case for a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. And depending on the formation, this would be a referee call or a wing call. Crew of 8, center judge would be involved, but in the backfield, certainly something the referee should be looking at. So good call by the referee, and something that we need to call. And that was the training tape. I hope it made sense, the difference between a personal foul and an unnecessary roughness and what we want is a blindside block instead. And I hope you found something you can use on the field.